Alright, in this lesson I'll introduce the setNames method. Much like the getLevelValues method that I introduced in the previous lesson, this method is called directly on the index attribute of our data frame, which returns the multi-index pandas object that's storing those combinations and combos of indices or levels or layers that make up the larger multi-index. So I'll begin this lesson by executing our code to load our multi-index data frame. Once again, we're using the index call parameter of the readCSV method. We're passing it a list of strings, and those are going to serve as the levels, those columns rather, are going to serve as the levels of my two-level multi-index here. So let's say I want to give a new name to these layers. I want to change date and country. Let's say I want to change them to day and location. Well, I once again have to extract my index, which is going to be bigmac.index. That's an attribute, that's not a method, and that's going to extract that component, which is the multi-index object in pandas. And now I want to call a method on this object, which is referencing that multi-index of my larger Big Mac data frame. And this time I want to use the setNames method. So there's actually a parameter here that allows us to modify a specific level, but what I find to generally be the easier approach is simply to provide a list here that basically is going to have the new level names that I want to provide. And for example, if I want to change both my date and country levels, what I can do here is pass something like day and location. These are going to be my two names, my two new names rather of my levels. So date is going to change to day and country is going to change to location. And if I execute that, that's basically going to change them. We may not see anything up here, but if we use the inPlace parameter right now and then preview the first three rows of Big Mac, we can see that we have in fact changed those level names from date and country to day and location. And there is a way that we can target a specific level, but what I generally think is the easier approach is simply to provide a full list of level names, and whichever ones you do not want to change, simply provide the exact same name as it currently has. So for example, if I have this data frame and it's date and country, and I don't want to change the date index, what I can do instead of fiddling around with the other parameter is simply just to rewrite it as date, and that's going to keep date as date, and country is going to change to location. Behind the scenes, it is technically overwriting date with date, but the final product is going to be what we want. So if I only want to target one of the layer levels or 2 out of 3, but not the full thing, I simply write all of them, and for the ones that I want to keep, I write the exact same level name. So if I execute this, then we're going to get a multi-index, and you can see in this example, the date level is kept the same, and the country is changed to location. So that's how you use the setNames method on the index attribute to change one of the level names in our, one or more of the level names in our multi-index on our pandas data frame.